Good afternoon and welcome. Welcome to Pat's Stamping Place. It is Monday, August 8th, and even saying the word August is hard to believe that we're kind of on the downswing of summer, but it's still very, very hot. So let's see here. I have been having so much fun with what I'm going to show you today, so I will wait a minute until I see that somebody might be here. Otherwise, I will go ahead and get started and people can catch the replay. I'm live on Facebook and YouTube. And if you are connecting for the first time, welcome. And I would love it if you would not only share my video, but subscribe to my channel. Let's see. Looks like, I don't know if I'm missing something, so let me know if you're here. And, okay. I'm seeing a little moon up there, and I'm not sure if that's coming from my phone or what, but at any rate, it says I'm live and recording. So I'm Pat Mayer. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and I'm located in Akron, Ohio. And we are also having the heat wave, as most of the country is, but it's sure nice and cool down here in my happy place and my stamping studio. It's slowly getting cleaned up a little bit. I have family coming this week, it's a mess. So anyway, hi Carol, welcome. Gloria, hello, you're watching, welcome. All right, you guys are here, I'm gonna get started. So let me flip you down to my desktop. Let's see, what do I do here? Get rid of that button, and there we go. And I'll just leave that up there for a minute. Shop online at patmayer.stampinup.net. And I blog kind of infrequently, but I do have a blog at patstamper.typepad.com. So you can check that out. Every day I keep saying I need to get something up there, and maybe I will get these there. At any rate, you can still go to my blog, and I do have a video link there for all the videos that go to YouTube, so you can check those out too. Welcome, Fran. Yes, we're here. Oh, I am, as I said, I'm excited about what I'm going to show you today. It's the Perched in a Tree bundle and the Aspen dies that go with this. And if you've been watching regularly, about 3 weeks ago, I had a request how to mirror something so that you could get like the birds, the one that looks this way on the stamp, and then how to mirror it going the other direction. So I did use the bird for that and this, but in that video, I didn't use any of the dies. And these dies are pretty amazing, let me tell you. And not only that, but the dies are now available as a celebration purchase of $100. So you don't have to have the stamp set to use the dies, but they really do go well together. Currently I'm in love with this. Whoops, it looks like I'm a little bit blobby here. Hold on a minute. I'm getting a fuzzy thing here, so if I'm slowing down, I apologize. Hopefully it doesn't pick it up on the replay, and I don't see how to fix that right now. Okay. It must be busy in the area, because I don't think last week I had a problem with it. So I'll just keep an eye on it. Kind of give me a heads up if you're having a problem. Um, so let's see. Forgot what I was saying. Anyway, the dies are available as a $100 purchase, and there's a picture of the items that are available, and I'm not sure if I can zoom in on that picture or not. But anyway, the dies are down here in the corner. The daffodil dies are there, some foil paper. I don't have the paper in front of me, sadly, but I will post that on the Facebook page when we're done here. Some of the items did sell out from the hold on a minute here. I am not doing well today. There we go. There we go. Some of the items did sell out from the original offering of Sale-a-Bration, and those were the note cards and envelopes, I believe. And I never did get a chance to show the trees for sale, because last week the tree lot dies did sell out. They were a really hot item. So this set is in the mini catalog, but the dies that coordinate with it are not. So that was a sad thing. And I don't believe anything else is sold out at this point. I think everything else is good to go. So that's Sale-a-Bration. But what I'm showing today can be found on page 46 of the mini catalog. So here you can see the whole bundle put together. Perched in a Tree and the Aspen Tree Dies. And I actually did a little bit of research on this too, so it was exciting. So let me get started. So if you have any questions, please let me know. And I see that I'm back in the blue again, so that's working. And I have already pre-die cut this gorgeous, gorgeous die, which right here you can't see much of what it looks like, but just wait. Let's see, I'm trying to zoom out a little bit here. Okay. Technology is not being kind today, so I'll make sure I'm up here in the camera. All right, so I'm using this. I'm also using these leaves. And I'm not going to be focusing on the bird and the branch today, although I do have a sample to show you at the end. So let's get started with the first project. And for this, it is super, super simple. I'm using a piece of designer paper from the tree lot die, or excuse me, the tree lot designer series paper. Oh my goodness. I didn't have my afternoon coffee. And that is also an offering for Sale-a-Bration. And as far as I know, it is still available. You don't see it very well, I guess. Where did I put that already? You don't really see it in the mini catalog or in the Sale-a-Bration brochure. But the paper is here, and that's way back here in the corner, so it's hard to see. But it's gorgeous. It has so many cool things in it, and that coordinates with these tree ring hybrid embossing folder. So I'm just going to use a piece of that. It's kind of wintry looking, but it's got green and blue that would be behind this gorgeous Aspen Trees. And that's basically all I'm using for this first card. And then I'll really step it up a little bit more with the second one. So I have a piece of basic white cardstock that is 5.5 by 8.5, and it is scored at 4 1/4. And I'm going to fold that on the score line and grab my bone folder and give it a nice crease. And rather than cut this down and make a little, what do I want to call a layer around there, I've cut everything today to fit right on the front of the card. And then I'll show you a little trick that I haven't shown for a long time about getting things lined up so that when you add your adhesive, it doesn't go off the side or you don't have to move it around a little bit. So what I'm doing is I'm going to adhere this first of all, and then put this down here. No, I'm going to change my mind. Hold on, I'm going to change my mind on that. Or am I? Nope, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go ahead and adhere this, and use some liquid glue on this part of it. And aren't these birds adorable back here? Kind of hate to cover them up. So I'm adding some liquid adhesive there. Now this is 4 by 5 1/4 or 5.5. 4 by 5.5, so that I know that that will fit in with this. But I'm going to adhere this with our tear and tape. And if you've not used the tear and tape before, it is an awesome product. And I think this is like 1/4 inch. I haven't measured it for a long time, but I think this is 1/4 inch wide, yes. And it is a super strong adhesive. So I'm going to just add a layer up here. And then show you the trick for adhering this to the card base. So are you having so far a good week other than trying to stay cool? Hopefully, I think tomorrow it's supposed to be much cooler. And I don't know if that's because some cold front is coming in with rain or what, but I can pull that up. If you can see what I did here, this is a little bit wider and there's a little bit more adhesive up there, but I can use a pokey tool to get that extra adhesive out of the way. But this is the way I like to adhere the tear and tape, and that's going to be to take my little pokey tool. There, that's zoomed in. It just wouldn't zoom out anymore. Okay, that's a little bit better. And make sure you burnish this down. And instead of tearing off the entire strip, because this becomes double-sided adhesive, lay that over to the side. And you'll see why in a minute. And I'm going to do that with all 4 sides. And the pokey tool just helps to pull it up rather than to use my fingernails. So I'm just making tabs on all 4 of these sides. So now when I adhere this to my card base, now let's go back out here. It gives me a little bit more control, because once this is stuck down, it is there. It's not going to go anywhere. So I'm going to lay that up against the left side. So right now, all that's sticking down is the part that I have adhered. And if I don't really press it too hard, I could still pull it up a little bit. But now, since it's where I want it to be, I can now release these tabs, and it's in perfect placement. And I think I've shown that trick before, but it's been quite a while. And then I didn't add any adhesive under these tree branches and tree limbs at all. So that's just plain. But when I show you the sample that I originally made, I did it a little bit differently, and I will show you that one in a moment. So this is just a very, very simple card with a pretty green and blue background and a side fold opening. And I'm just going to add a very simple sentiment from the stamp set. Your kindness warms my heart. Oh, I already have it on a block. And I'm going to use Night of Navy for that. And I'm pretty sure this is going to fit. See if hope my head doesn't get in the way. Going to go over a little bit more on the left side so I can add some embellishments on the right. Yes, yay. That was lucky. I want to clean that off because for some reason Night of Navy just wants to go everywhere, and it's not something that you want to get on your card, especially where you don't want it to go. All right. So that's where that's going to go. And close up that Night of Navy. And I've got some white baker's twine. Make a double knot here, a double bow. Oops. The lid to my little cheese shaker is making noise. Okay, I just like to make a little double knot, and then I can trim that. I just double it and snip that off. And I'm going to put that underneath. I think, hold on a minute here. Let me make the tails on that a little bit longer. This is going to require some dimensionals. So it pops up a little bit. That right there, and I'm just going to tuck that up underneath. Okay, still not doing what I want it to do. I didn't put a bow on my original one, so maybe it's just telling me it doesn't really need to have a bow. I kind of like something just kind of coming out underneath there. So let's add a mini glue dot. And tuck that under. Okay. Let me get my ribbon scissors here. Oh dear, somebody sent me a sad face. I hope it's not too sad. Sorry about that, whatever it was that made it sad. And I'm adding some, I always forget the names of these when I take the label off. Brushed metallic adhesive. And put some, thank you, Nancy. I love that snowflake paper. I wish we had more of it. I think this is my last piece of it. So there's that. Just very simple. And I have, because there's enough green in this, I'm going to use this to decorate an envelope. Usually I forget to do envelopes. And this paper is pretty awesome. I guess when I ordered it, I didn't realize that there's so much of it, but it is the gingham cottage paper. And let me tell you, it is, if you like gingham, big, little, whatever, I'll show it maybe in when I'm done, but it's wonderful. But I'm going to be lining envelopes. I am going to be using a lot of that paper, otherwise it's not going to get used. There's so much of it. So this is just a good way to use up some of your designer paper, and the gingham may not particularly match this, but I think it's kind of a nice addition to the card. Anybody would love to open this card. Thanks, Fran. You lost the volume and had to click it back on. Okay, it's still showing blue, so I don't know. Was the volume on your end, or because I'm still getting a good connection here. It's all in the blue right now. So the piece of designer paper to put a flap on your envelope is 6 by 2 1/4. And then you just trim off the excess. And there we go. So that's card number 1. Let me show you the sample that I made originally. It's very similar. The only thing I did was I added adhesive strips all the way around so that it has more dimension on it. And I don't know if you can really see that on here. So it's got adhesive strips there, so it pops out a little bit. And I really don't think it makes all that much difference to the card. And then I put pieces of dimensional on the tree limbs, where this has no adhesive on here. So I think I like this one a little bit better than the original one, but they both work. So Fran, are you getting volume now? I hope so. Okay, card number 2. This is probably my favorite. So while I get this stuff put away, I did some research a little bit on aspen trees because I really wasn't sure what color the leaves were supposed to be, and a little bit more about it. It was aspen. Oh, there was a name for it, and I totally forgot what I wrote. Well, I didn't write it down. That's what I should have done. But anyway, the leaves just with the least little amount of wind, they just wiggle, I guess. Okay, for the lack of a better word. So I came up with this design. I think it's my own. So I hope you like it. And rather than designer paper in the back, I'm going to create my own background. So I have a piece of 5.5 by 4.25. As I said, my fronts are going to be exactly the same size as the card base. And I'm going to create a background with this. And that's where I have fallen in love with this splotchy stamp, I guess, because it's not just little ones like this. I mean, this is in here too, and I'll use it a little bit more, but I'm using this to create a background with balmy blue and garden green. So let me get my little scrubber here so I can scrub between colors. And I'm using the blending brushes. So let's start with the balmy blue. Or I'll be using the blending brushes on the leaves, not on the background. Yeah, blending brushes will be a little bit later. So I'm just going to tap, tap, tap here, and I'm going to stamp off. Whoops. Hope that doesn't need to be re-inked. Stamp off a little bit and just get lots of different color around the top of that. So it's just a pretty blue sky. Some places lighter, some places darker. Okay, let's chamois that real good. And switch to the garden green. Get a little bit of piece of paper on there. And I'm just going to do the same thing down at the bottom. This is a little bit darker, so I will stamp off on some of it. So some will be darker, some will be lighter. just plain fun to do. Clean that real good. All right. Now that's going to become the background. So instead of designer paper, you just make your own. But when I did some research and found out that the leaves are yellow, gold, orange, kind of in the middle of all of those three colors, I decided or thought that we needed some color on here to make it look like we've got some leaves up here, some of those pretty golden leaves. So I'm using, let's put that off to the side. I've got crushed curry and pumpkin pie and mango melody, all of those to kind of blend together to get the color that I want up here. So I'm going to start with the lightest color, which is crushed curry. And I didn't use crushed curry on my original card. So I don't know if this is going to look as good as my sample. So we're going to try it out here. So I will, even though this is the lightest one, I'm going to stamp it off some because I'm kind of leaning toward the mango melody, but I'm just adding color across the top of the card, kind of going down along the edge a little bit, not so much on these branches here, but just to kind of give that idea that we've got some leaves along the sides of this panel. Okay, so now let's get rid of that and add a little bit of pumpkin pie. Now let's do the mango melody next and save the pumpkin pie for last. And my original one only used pumpkin pie and the mango melody. I'll go ahead and clean it a little bit. Okay, Nancy, do you have aspen trees in your neck of the woods? I'm not sure. I guess I'm not really sure if we have them in Ohio. I'm not really sure. I do know that the limbs are white, and we've got white. What's the name of the tree? Somebody help me who knows trees. Okay. But it seemed like something that was more up in the northeast. I know I've seen them before, but I'm not sure exactly where. All right. So I think that's good enough. So visualize that those are aspen leaves up there. And I think what amazed me so much was how pretty this looks with that blue and the green. Birch, thank you, Fran, because I have birch logs in my fireplace just for decoration. So I love the orange with the blue here. Something's going on outside, if you can hear that siren. So this is going to go on. There, that's went by. Had a lot of sirens lately, goodness sakes. So on this one, instead of using the tear and tape, I'm just going to add some adhesive along the sides. And again, I'm not going to put any in the center. I really don't think it needs to be there. Unless somebody's going to try and take the card apart, but I think it's good. Just put it on the edges. So as I said, this is my favorite. Then I have 2 other samples to show you too. And if I cut my paper right, it should just match. I know growing up, we had white birch. My dad, I remember those were very special. He bought those white birch trees. So we had those in our yard growing up, but I actually don't remember if the leaves started off green or were they always kind of yellowy orange. I don't really know. Don't remember back that far. Okay, so this one is going to go on a card base that is 11 by 4 1/4 and is scored in the center at 5 1/2. And no dimensionals, just more adhesive, more green glue. So that's what we have so far. And then I have cut out some of the leaves that are the dies with this. And this is supposed to be leaves too that go on the branch, but I'm not going to use those. I'm just going to use some of these leaves. And I actually think, because like I said, I didn't on the original one. I think on this one, I will use the crushed curry. I don't know. I'm really taken with the Mango Melody. Now what's nice about these is there's texture here. Whoops, can you see that? Get that in my, where's my, there we go. I know that's fuzzy. Okay, there's texture on those. So it die cuts and puts texture on the card, or on the leaf to begin with. Love it, love it, love it. So I think I'm going to use the Mango Melody. The crushed curry just seems a little blah and dull for what I want it to look like. So I'm going to use 3 of those. And here's where I'm using the blending brushes. And then I'll pull in that little stamp again. So let's see, that's the pumpkin pie. So I do want to add a little bit of contrast or texture to this. So I'm going to use my orange blending brush. And instead of rubbing on here, I am just going to bounce that color on there. Need to take a little bit of it off. Just pounce, I guess that's the better word. Just pounce that on there. The leaves will be falling soon. And now I'm going to bring in this just speckle stamp and add some color to that too, with a little bit of soft suede. look like real leaves now. So I'm just going to kind of layer those three with some adhesive and then adhere it to the card with dimensionals and add a sentiment, which I think I have to go grab the sentiment that I want to use. Okay, so let's add some adhesive here. I just love these leaves. They're just gorgeous. Okay, so there's the three leaves. I think they look beautiful on there. And I'm just going to add those over here with dimensionals. And this can coordinate with so many different stamp sets for sentiments. But what is nice about this, and since it's in our what we call our holiday catalog or our July to December catalog, it does have Let Heaven and Nature Sing, Wishing You Abundant Joy and Peace, and No Matter the Season, I'm Here for You. So you've got a lot of sentiments that are very seasonal, that go well with fall and winter, as well as our Christmas and holiday season. And then Let Heaven and Nature Sing, which is great with the bird. I guess you would probably need to have the bird on the card to go along with that sentiment. But I just want to grab, this is one of our little pieces that, whoops, that's not white. What is that? So that I can make this a birthday card. And I thought I had that one here, so I had to step away. All right, so I'm going to use Birthday Wishes, and this is from a set that I just did get, the cherry. Got the cherry set, and that's actually what I started off thinking I was going to use today. And then I decided to showcase this because the dies are part of the Sale-a-Bration offering right now. So let's do Birthday Wishes. And I've cut this banner out of our Stylish Shapes dies. I have a lot of September birthdays coming up, so this will be great for that. All right, so let's add this to the card with, make sure I'm in the camera here, with some adhesive on this end and dimensionals over here. Because the leaves are already popped up, so I want to make sure that those will match then on the side where I put the dimensionals. Hold that down a little bit. And I'll add some more of these brushed metallic gems. We've got gold and copper and pewter in this, and they're just gorgeous. Let's put one there and put a big one over here. And I've chosen another color of the gingham. So we've got a small one on this side, and on this one I'm going to use this side. All right, just do a little trimming. Then I will show you my original one and two other samples that I did. All right, so there's that card. And here is card number 1. So those are the two cards today. And this was my original design for this one. And I did put a little bow under here, but left off the gems. So they look pretty much the same. No card is ever exactly the same. That's what's fun about it. They're all a little bit different. So here are the other two. Here's one where I did add the bird on the branch and created the background exactly the same way I just did the one that I finished, with just using this stamp to create the background, and I colored the bird and the branch with our blends. And then just added some pretty green gingham to that one. And then this one was one I played around with by cutting some of the tree branches out of the original die. And then I put some leaves down here with a bow, and then sending hugs that came from another stamp set. Again, the background is the same, but you can see the curvature there where I cut out this part of the dies and then added those to the card. So it just gave a totally different dimension to it. But I like this one too. So they're all ready to go. We've got hugs and a bird on a branch, so you can see how that one works too. And then the two cards for today. So thank you, Carol. I hope you enjoyed that, and it will encourage you to get out there, be creative. If you don't have those items, you can order them from me, or if you're a demonstrator, order them from yourself and enjoy. So, oh, I know what I wanted to tell you. One more thing, don't go. Let's see, today is the 8th. 2 more days remain to be able to get the sweet sunflower. Can't zoom out on that, but I can turn that off. The sweet sunflower paper pumpkin kit. It comes with sunflowers to make all smiles bloom, and it says there's a free gift inside to add bee. So I don't know if that means there's going to be something with a bee in it. Beautiful layers to your projects. I cannot wait to get this one. I think it's going to be gorgeous for the fall and the rest of August and September. So this is only good through August 10th. So if you have been a subscriber, you can reactivate your account and get this just one time and then cancel it again. If you've never had the paper pumpkin before, this would be a great time to subscribe. Again, there's no obligation to continue it. But if you do, I get a 3-month subscription, you could get something for free with Sale-a-Bration. So check with me if you have any questions, and I know that you will love this one. So take care, have a great rest of the week, and I will see you next Monday.